How about them Lakers? Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It's phenomenal to be here with all of you. We have a very exciting half-hour show coming up here for all of you, so stay tuned. With that being said, I'll be pulling in my co-host here, Gavin. Tony, Gavin, it is
You better
great
take that
to be
back,
here
Zach. You better
with
take
you
that
today.
back.
How are you doing here? Lakers are up 3-1. We got to talk about the NBA Finals. We have to talk about the NFL because the coronavirus is not going away, and the NFL continues to have some issues there. We got to talk about the fact that fans are possibly coming here to Philadelphia. We touched on that yesterday briefly. We'll continue to go into details with that today. And then we'll be wrapping up the show. We do have a guest coming on for the first time in a week or so. So we got a lot of exciting stuff going on here as we discuss the Eagles as well as the NHL. As currently is day 2 of the NHL draft. We'll talk about the Flyers pick as well as go from there. We'll be getting another guest on hopefully either this week or next week to talk about the future of the Philadelphia Flyers. But first of all, Miami Heat fan Gavin Tony. Gavin, how are you doing today?
I'm pissed because you started off with the fact that you had the nerve to say, how about them Lakers, all right? I saved that for the Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. The Lakers don't even deserve to be in here. They didn't deserve to win last night. Tyler Hero, what are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a horrible day. The guest though, when it comes to the guest, this is first time on the show, so I'm excited to have him on here. But Zach, how you doing? I'm not no damn Miami Heat fan now, so y'all can quit on that. That's not true.
I'm great. I'm
That's
thrilled. I am thrilled to be here with you. We'll talk about it again. Let's get started with the NBA Finals. It's not over yet, so I don't want to get on my high horse yet, but just a friendly reminder, you can go back in these shows and watch. They are all pre-recorded. They are all on tape. They are all on YouTube for you to access. Gavin said the Blazers in 5. Gavin said the Blazers in 7. Gavin gave up on the Blazers. He said the Rockets in 5. He gave up on the Rockets. Gavin said the Nuggets in 5. Gavin said they're going to come back from 3-1. Every time he's been wrong. You see, the problem is LeBron James listening to you. I think I woke up Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who you woke up. You woke up an awful lot of people. You didn't wake up Drew Brees. He's falling asleep, which I know you're thrilled about. But as far as it comes on with LeBron James, I mean, I guess you're waking him up. He's listening to you. Los Angeles Lakers, they don't look great. They don't look clean, but they're winning games. And that's the bottom line. And the stat line doesn't lie, Gavin. I know LeBron James at some points last night looked disinterested. He was kind of sitting in the corner, letting guys like Rondo go in and do their job. But that's what a great team does. And this is not the GOAT conversation. We're not having that conversation. We know that. We're talking about
Not today.
We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as a team. LeBron James is part of that. That's not the big thing we're talking about. They are playing really good team basketball. All right? And I'm going to have evidence for you right here. First of all, not a pretty night for either team, both south of 45% from beyond the field and beyond the arc, both teams south of 35%. But, Gavin, how about this one? LeBron James, 28 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Anthony Davis, not a strong night at all with 42 minutes, but he had 22 points, 9 boards, and 4 assists. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 15 points. Danny Green, 10, which is new for him. Morris stepped up. Rondo had a quick 2. Alex Caruso came in there and did some things. He had a flop last night, which is starting to gain attention across the league. And Kyle Kuzma, in his limited minutes, able to go up there. Gavin, they're going 4 deep. The Miami Heat are going 3 deep at most. And those guys aren't really doing too much for him. Tyler Hero, 21 points. Duncan Robinson had a great night at 17. Bam Adebayo, Gavin came back. You said this series might be over if Bam comes back. Go watch the clips, everybody, from last week. But bottom line here, Gavin, Jimmy Butler still had 22 points, a near triple-double. But he was getting doubled last night. He was finding other guys to make the shots, and they were. But something had to happen last night for the Lakers to win. Gavin, what are your thoughts here after watching Game 4?
Well, my thoughts are as simple as this. LeBron James is second fiddle to Anthony Davis. I'm just going to put it out like that.
Yeah, I know, right? LeBron James more points than him, but okay.
Yeah, but once again, Zach, when you got – see, here's the difference. And we're not getting to the GOAT debate, but here's the difference. LeBron James, and this is the major difference between LeBron James and Anthony – or and LeBron James and Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan's, dynamic duo, Scottie Pippen, wasn't a top 5 NBA player for the most part. Sometimes, maybe some years he might have been. Zach, this is before our time, all right? But he's playing with Anthony Davis right now. And you're sitting here and telling me that Anthony Davis is not a top 5 player in the NBA? Hell, maybe even top 3 because half the people that were playing this year were hurt. So if you want to get technical, Anthony Davis may be in top 3, but top 5 at best. Zach, come on now. You know it, and everybody else knows it. Without Anthony Davis, there is no finals this year. Damn it. I don't give a damn what LeBron did yesterday. I don't care what LeBron's going to do next week. All right? Here's the moral of the fact. Anthony Davis is the reason why they're here. Because look who no one was able to guard Anthony Davis at all. At all. He averaged 30, and 15 plus 30 points. And I'm gonna say plus because of points, because it was a little bit more than that. At the same time, is how the hell am I supposed to sign Anthony Davis when it's easy to guard LeBron James? Did you see him in game early in game? What was that? Game 3 or 4 when he didn't have much. I think it was early last night, but LeBron James didn't really do much. Luckily, Contavious Caldwell Pope was blessing every three he made, so that's why they won last night. They really shouldn't have won last night. Bam Adebayo came back and actually did a decent job defensively. I know it's their first hard game back, but Zach. That's my major takeaway. Can we just stop acting like LeBron James is some Lord Savior in everything that he's doing? Are we just gonna forget there's a dude that's 6'10, 6'11 that isn't a freakish athlete, that's not over here carrying his damn team? Are we just gonna think about that? Okay, and Jimmy Butler, right? Jimmy Butler, where the hell were you? Why are you giving the ball up last night? You went back to game 1 and 2. All right, game 3, you scored.
He's tired. You got double teamed.
They gave him the Ben Simmons treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Butler made 40 points out shooting 1 3 ball. Making 1 3-point attempt. So they gave him the Ben Simmons treatment. He gave the damn ball away instead of taking the ball and scoring the ball. Zach, you and I both said, in order for this team to actually compete, Jimmy Butler has to go off and do his job. He didn't. He did his job. He had a triple-double last night. But last night, Zach, I don't care. If you're supposed to start playing up this damn team, go score. And Tyler Hero, next time we open floor, how about you make the damn layup instead of trying to not get swatted? Hey, how soft the NBA is, you might get fouled. You never know. But Zach, last night was a pure a pure disgrace in my eyes. All right. And the fact that people like you and Lakers fans are happy today, even though this series should be 2-2, just pisses me off.
You count Anthony Davis out real quick against the Blazers, the Nuggets, and in between there the Rockets. You counted him out.
I never counted Anthony Davis.
Why all of a sudden? No, you obviously did, because you said that the other teams are going to win. Small ball is going to win. You said that, and they won game 1. You were coming on here. But let me say something to you right now. It should be 3-1 in my opinion.
It shouldn't be 3-1. It should not be 3-1.
Let me make this very clear right now. This is about the Los Angeles Lakers. They're playing good team basketball. If you're trying to tell me right now that a team of Rajon Rondo, Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard is in the NBA Finals, you'd be wrong. Now, would you probably be wrong to say that LeBron James with those guys would be? I mean, it's debatable, in my opinion, but I think if it was just LeBron James, they have a better chance of making the finals than just Anthony Davis. Look at Anthony Davis in the playoffs in history, Gavin. He's like Paul George.
He took a depleted Pelicans team to the playoffs.
Didn't get far. You put him on a team. It's him and LeBron James and a bunch of average players, right? And you got to be honest here. You know that. I mean, Tyler Hero is a better role player and shooter than Danny Green. Danny Green's a fine defender, but today it's not about LeBron James. It's about the Lakers. And the fact that you're sitting here saying you can't acknowledge that the Lakers are a better team than the Miami Heat. The Lakers are the best team in the Western Conference.
But I don't know about that. Listen,
they're the furthest team this year. The Clippers
choked.
Who didn't choke? Who was up?
If Pandemic P was not hitting the backboard, it would be a different story. And you and I both know that Doc Rivers wouldn't be here right now. He would still be in LA. But Paul George is like, you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna hit backboard because I'm that guy today. So second off, let's think about this too. How about this as well? And Nate's coming pretty soon. But how about this? If you want to I'm not saying I was never counting out the Lakers, right? I kept saying the reason why they're
in 4,
but I was never counting out Anthony Davis. 5. You know what? I never said Anthony Davis. I said LeBron James because you remember LeBron James wasn't efficient. Zach, you came out and said that. You said it yourself.
Exactly. He turned it up for the playoffs. That's what a GOAT does. You just admitted it. You just proved my point. He turned it up for the playoffs.
But still, the way how people treat Anthony Davis, it's like he's not working. It was not like he did not put work in to get here. That's the problem. No one thinks that Anthony Davis deserved to be here. No one. And you want to talk about the Pelicans, right? He lost to Golden State his first time, right? First time. Second time, who did he whoop? Come on, Zach, you know this. What team did he beat the second go-round? Looking like the best player in the league. Should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I'll give you that. I don't know about Giannis this year. But Zach, my thing is, if Anthony Davis if if LeBron were to do this without Anthony Davis, because he's always playing second fiddle to everybody, because he's never going to be, because he always needs somebody. I'm not saying you can't use anybody else to win, because that's the day and age of the NBA. You're going to need somebody else. But Zach, here's this. When it comes to this finals right here, and the way how everybody's treating LeBron and how everybody thinks he is, no one thinks that Anthony Davis is doing anything, and he's putting in work. Everybody's ignoring what Anthony Davis is.
And that means the Lakers are a good team, so I don't know why you discredit the entire playoffs. Just because you don't like LeBron James, you can't discredit the greatness of this team. That's what I don't get. You're talking about the Rockets. You're talking about the Blazers. You were a little bit less on against the Nuggets here. But look, the reality of the situation is simple. It's really simple, honestly, if you look at it. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, this is a good team. They are doing a good job. And I think that in all honesty –
he couldn't do it without Anthony Davis, John. He could not do it without Anthony Davis this year. He could not do it. He cannot do it.
He was the 4 seed last year before he went down in the playoffs, by the way. The Lakers were the 4 seed last year with that team before LeBron James went down when he missed the playoffs barely. All right, so the reality of the situation, you look at this before, maybe he might not be in the finals, but, I mean, his supporting cast this year, I'd probably say, is better than that he had in 2018. So if you look at this team and you look at Anthony Davis, you look at all these different players, they're all doing their jobs, but who's enabling them to do their jobs? LeBron James is recording 10-plus assists a night. You can't tell me that's not greatness, but more importantly, you can't tell me that this Lakers team is good, and they're arguably right now the best team in the Western Conference based on what they've done in this postseason.
Look, Zach, I'm just trying to say this. The Warriors were a much better team. No, yeah, that's no news. But Zach, what I'm trying to say is this. When you look at this year and how people have been treating Anthony Davis this playoff, and then LeBron does one thing, and oh my God, LeBron's been here the whole time. Where the hell is
in the finals?
This is no, Zach, no, hell no. Because I guarantee you, Zach, if you would take LeBron off this, or no, you would take Anthony Davis off this Lakers team right now, they would struggle. You're 17 or not.
They would be a top 5 player and expect them not to be, but they would adapt.
But that's my point. You think they would adapt, but is LeBron really? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say is, look, let's cut this LeBron BS out. All right, he's not that damn good this year. All right, he's not that damn good. I'm gonna just say it like that. He's not.
I don't even know. I think I'll put it to you this way, because at the Finals MVP, we'll see what happens, who they give it to. If you were to take LeBron James out or Anthony Davis out, the team without LeBron James would not get as far as the team with Anthony Davis.
I disagree. I disagree because Anthony Davis is on top right now. That's the problem. LeBron's not.
LeBron gets these guys involved. Who's Alex Caruso? Who created Alex Caruso? Who gave him the opportunities?
What do you mean? Who gave? Okay, obviously LeBron gave opportunities, but guess what, Zach?
Makes him a good team player.
Where was he in Game 3? Where was he?
Oh my goodness! One game.
Where the hell was he? Game 3? Huh? Where was he? He still lost. Everybody wants to throw.
He lost the game, so now we're talking about games they lose. You can lose a game, Gavin. At the end of the day, it's about who you're playing here in the finals and how it ends up. They're up 3-1 right now. That's the deal.
Look, all I'm trying to say is this, ladies and gentlemen. If Anthony Davis does not win Finals MVP this year and LeBron James does it, I'm Anthony Davis. I'm leaving.
I'll make this pretty clear and obvious when you talk about LeBron James. One thing that we're talking about, whether or not it's the GOAT debate or talking about the Lakers as a whole, it's okay to admit that the Lakers are a good team and to admit that the Lakers are actually able to function. And so I think that in all honesty here, as we are getting ready for our guests to come in here, I think that when you look at the Lakers and you look at Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they're playing well. They're putting themselves in good situations. And frankly, LeBron James is maybe not the MVP right now of this team. Anthony Davis is doing it. But who's putting up the assist, Gavin? Who's putting up the facilitating? Who's able to do all that stuff? So I think that is what we have to look at and talk about here too. I'm not going to argue with you and say I think that LeBron James or Anthony Davis who should or shouldn't be Finals MVP, but you can't deny that LeBron James is doing his job here in the NBA Finals.
I will say this, Zach. In the beginning of the year, these two, they would look like the best dynamic duo right now. I just think one is pulling a little bit more weight than the other one right now. That's all I gotta say.
We'll see what happens here. Keep counting out LeBron. Keep counting them out. We'll see what happens here as we
And
recap.
and LeBron and hold on. LeBron James is not the best player in the world right now. He's not. He's really not. Because who is? Who is? Are we just going to just ignore what the hell the Greek Freak did?
Is it
Are we just going to ignore that?
In the second round or so?
There's a guy in Brooklyn that is arguably 7 foot and is upset because he couldn't play this year. So I don't know.
Talk about needing to join a super team to win an NBA title. Talk about that. You can plan all the time on that.
With the Miami to do it.
That's his team. You go win an NBA Finals. And you're
Miami
recruiting Anthony Davis.
Oh my!
That is the biggest hypocrisy I've ever seen on the show.
Go to break. Because clearly, LeBron fans are still
Kevin Durant left.
He is not the guy no more. He is not the guy. Go to break. Just go to break. He's not the guy no more.
We'll have to continue with that. Coming up next, we have a special guest coming on to talk about the NHL, including his Boston Bruins as well as the Philadelphia Eagles. Stay tuned.
We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom-designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode.
Welcome back here on the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. We will have to go back to that segment later, possibly tomorrow, to talk about it. But first of all, we are bringing in our good friend Nate Smiley. Nate, it is great to have you on. It's been a little bit of a while, man, but how are you doing?
It's been pretty good. What's up, Gavin?
What's up, Nate? How you doing, bro?
Oh, just great.
Great, man. So we got a lot to talk about. It's a good week to have you on here with the Eagles claiming a victory. We'll start off with that one. We know it's been a struggle for them all year. We've been covering it and then some, but they showed up on Sunday. It was not a pretty game at all. But when the plays needed to be made, both sides of the field, offense and defense, stepped up. So what are some of your thoughts just from those first 2-3 games? And then going into Sunday night, what are your thoughts on that final game?
First few games obviously were rough. Saw a lot of people wanting to put Hurts in instead of Wentz. I don't know about that. I think Wentz really stepped up against the Niners, kind of showed what he can do. Of course, he's not going to be consistent the whole time, but I feel like as the season keeps going, he should kind of get better. But defense definitely stepped up against the 49ers. They looked great. And, of course, the past few games were just hard to watch. But see where it goes.
Well, Nate, I got to ask you, because I was one of the advocates for Jalen Hurts, but I wasn't calling for Jalen Hurts so easy. So what do you think got wrong? What do you think was wrong with Carson Wentz? You think it's play calling, or you think it's Carson Wentz in general? Like, what do you think it is?
Play calling is definitely part of it, but it's both. Wentz was just holding on to the ball too long. I don't know why he was so scared of just getting rid of it. But obviously, play calling has something to do with it, like going for it on fourth a lot of times when they shouldn't. And play calling has kind of always been a problem with offense, but with Wentz, obviously, I don't know what was going on with him. It was a lot of just trying to make plays when he shouldn't, trying to be a hero. But I don't know. I feel like kind of on Sunday more, the play calling was a little better. But like Zach said, it wasn't pretty at all. But see where it goes.
Yeah, it was a mix of everything. I mean, the injuries, for some reason, this team always finds a way to go above expectations when they're injured, and when they're healthy, they go below expectations, at least since that Super Bowl year. I mean, this is just thinking out loud here. I just don't understand where the simplicity comes from. Why can't they be more simple more often? And you saw on Sunday, 2-3 slants, and they were 3 for 3 on those slants that they ran. I feel like in the first 2-3 weeks, you never see that. You watch so many other football teams with the creativity, the pre-snap motions, the basic quick throws, and let your playmakers get out in the open field and do something. We have some of those guys on this team, Miles Sanders and a few other guys of note to name. So I don't know what it is. Do you think that Doug Peterson, frankly, just gets the playbook way too complex, gets stuck in his own head, or could it just be a poor execution that we're not able to see the whole story?
Nah, I think it's definitely more of a Doug Peterson thing. I don't know. I mean, like you said, I feel like, especially with the Eagles roster, the more simple the plays are, I think the better it'll be. I just think a lot of the time it's just Doug Peterson trying to just like I don't know, be like fancy with it when he really shouldn't be. Um, like slants on that. It's like really an Eagles thing to lose to two bad teams and tie a horrible team and then beat an actual like decent team. It's such a Philly sports thing to do, but yeah, I don't know. Just the more simple the plays are, the better off they'll be.
Well, Nate, Zach's a big advocate of running the ball, and I back him with it. When you run the ball more than it's 25 times, right, Zach?
25 times by our running back.
When you run the ball more than 25 times, which Doug Pearson clearly doesn't do some days, but he really should. But Nate, going back to the creativity and doing a little too much for Carson Wentz, I feel like when Nick Foles was here, they ran the ball a lot more. And when Carson Wentz is under center, we throw the ball a lot more. So I gotta ask you, Nate, if Nick Foles was behind center right now, do you think we would be in a different? Would the record be different? Would it be exactly the same?
I don't think it'd be exactly the same, but I don't think it'd be much better. When Nick Foles played, we had way different running backs. We had Blunt, Ajayi, just a whole different kind of scheme going.
O-line was healthy.
Yeah, O-line healthy. But if they ran the ball more, I mean, Miles Sanders could definitely pick up the team a little bit. I just don't know why. If Nick Foles was here, I don't think it'd be much different. Like Wentz obviously needed to step up, but the play calling, I think, is the biggest reason.
So is it time to put the whole Nick Foles, Carson Wentz thing to rest?
Yes, I think it's been time to put.
Should be, yeah. I think last year in those final 4 games, it was put to rest.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of people that still believe that Nick Foles deserves to be here, and arguably the 3-0 Bears just lost the other weeks or last week.
Foles did not look good in that game at all, but that's more of a play calling thing too in Chicago. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show, but just coming up here now, they're playing Pittsburgh on Sunday at 1 in Pittsburgh. They're going to have 15% of the stadium filled with fans, the first game the Eagles will have this year with a live audience there. So, Nate, I'll ask you this. How are your feelings for this game going up against Pittsburgh?
I don't really know. I don't know how to kind of think of Pittsburgh. Like, obviously, they're a good team, but I feel like some of the teams they've played haven't been that good, which, you can't really say much about the Eagles because they lost to the bad teams and beat the 49ers. But I think I'm feeling confident. I don't know. I think it'll be close. But I mean, I just think the run game needs to do more, but the Steelers have a really good defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how, the offense can go up against a defense like the Steelers. See if Wentz can step up for once, but I don't really know.
Well, the Steelers pass rush is something not to mess around with, as they lead the league in sacks already. But Nate, I got to ask you, this offensive line hasn't been the best. The reason why we lost versus the Bengals is because of the offensive line. So if you are Doug Peterson and you know what this Steelers defensive line can do and how it could disrupt the offense, how are you trying to play against it? Do you want quick passes? Are we doing a lot of draw runs? Or are we doing a lot of stretches?
Run the ball. I mean, passing hasn't been the best already, and it's not going to get any better against the Steelers. I would just say try to run more quick passes, definitely like slants, like Zach said earlier against the 49ers, that worked. I feel like just quick plays, runs, it's the only way you're going to beat them. I don't think you're going to get any long passes out of them just because of how good the line is and how bad the offensive line is for the Eagles right now. Just play it smart.
Help to scramble, get out of the pocket for sure, whether planned or on his own. We'll have to see what happens. Last time they played them, they crushed the Steelers in Carson's rookie year, for those who remember. But different game. It's been 4 or 5 years, so we'll have to see what happens here for both teams. But with that being said, I do want to shift gears now and talk about the NHL, talk about the Boston Bruins, who had a good run running into some talent in there. It's tough when you see a lot of these strong teams coming out of the Eastern Conference. You did see the shocking run by the New York Islanders, taking down both the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. And remind me, the Bruins, they were knocked out by the Lightning in the semis.
Yep.
In the semis? Or the first round?
No, it was semis.
In the semis. So I just have to ask you then, just kind of some of your general thoughts on how the Bruins went this year. For those who may or may not know, we are on day 2 of the NHL draft. We're going to, here on the show, have some more coverage on that later, but I do want to ask you, Nate, as far as some of your thoughts here, just a few years separated from another Stanley Cup. So I got to ask, what's what happened with this team this year? Were the Lightning just an overpowered team, or are the Bruins in a process of maybe not rebuilding, but getting some more talent, or maybe are they on the way down?
Well, going in right before like the pandemic hit, the Bruins were probably the hottest team in the league. They were number one, first team to get 200 points. They just beat the Flyers, shut them out. And then right after that, we kind of went into a pandemic. And I feel like when you go into a few month break in the middle of the season, teams are going to have different kind of like effects in how they come out of it. Obviously, the Bruins just didn't come out strong or as strong as they were. You know, we started, and then Tuukka Rask, the best goalie pretty much in the league, in my opinion, stepped out of the bubble and went home to his family. So we kind of started the backup goalie going against Tampa Bay, who was just the best in the league, obviously. But yeah, and then, I mean, Chara is now a free agent. Torrey Krug's going to be a free agent. Jake DeBrusk is going to be a free agent. And it doesn't look like they're going to re-sign. So I think in the upcoming years, the Bruins probably aren't going to be good. I'm guessing it's going to go into a rebuilding stage. It'll probably take a while because, you know, that starting line that used to be really good is all kind of old now. David Pastrnak in the playoffs just didn't play at the caliber he was playing in the regular season. There was a lot of opportunities, but I think the biggest problem was offense. Couldn't score at all. And then you see teams like the Stars and the Islanders who just kind of came out of the pandemic really strong when they were kind of expected to lose early. But yeah, definitely in the upcoming years, the Bruins probably aren't going to be as good as they have been lately. I think their best shot to win the Stanley Cup was last year against the Blues, and stuff happens. I don't know. Went to Game 7 and lost, but can't really do much about it.
Well, definitely don't take down that Bruins poster you got in the background. Better days are coming pretty soon. But Nate,
Yeah.
I got the draft's going on. Who did the Bruins select, or did they not have a first round pick?
They didn't have a first round pick.
Do you think that's gonna hurt them in the long run?
Huh?
You think that's gonna hurt them in the long run?
Definitely. They're getting old. Their stars are getting old. All their young contracts are up, so I don't really know what's going to happen now, but just going to have to wait and see.
We'll see what happens for sure. I do want to ask you, though, here from our team here in Philadelphia, what are your thoughts here on the Flyers? Not only this season, they obviously turned some heads, not only during the pre-pandemic season, but post-pandemic in that little round robin, which first of all, I want to ask you your thoughts on. Do you like how the NHL decided to do the seeding for the top four teams, or do you think that was kind of unfair to some teams like Boston, who was consistent throughout the whole year, versus a team with the Flyers who just simply came out hot in the round robin?
No, I like the round robin. I think that was probably their best option. Obviously, like as a Bruins fan, it kind of hurt watching us lose every single round robin game, and then watching the Flyers get placed first. But I think that was the best way in making it fair to each team as to who came out of the pandemic stronger, and obviously the Flyers did. Flyers are a young team and they're a good team. I think in the next few years are probably going to be pretty good. But yeah, I like the round robin a lot.
Well, do you think they stick with the round robin next year, or is that with just a 1 year, one-time ordeal?
I'm guessing it's probably a one-time thing. I think the NHL is going to start like an 83-game season January 1st. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a round robin, but it was definitely probably their best bet in getting playoffs out of the pandemic.
And real quick, the Flyers. I know you're not really a big Flyers guy. I know you're around a lot of people that are Flyers guys, but I gotta ask you: do you think the hype was too much, or do you think it was just fine, or what happened to this Flyers team? Is what I'm really trying to ask you. You got a team, the Islanders, that come to beat you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone saw the Islanders coming out and getting as far as they did. Especially beating the Flyers. I didn't really expect that happening. I thought the Flyers would, I don't know about go all the way, but I thought they would make it to the finals. They looked really good. But obviously, no, I think the hype was pretty good. I think it was pretty where it should have been. But I think in the next coming years, they're definitely going to be better than this year. But the Islanders, obviously, that just came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that at all. Thought they were going to be out first round. But
The Islanders are just like the Clippers. You didn't expect none of that to happen, but I just hope the Flyers, somebody parties up Broad Street pretty soon. Maybe it might be the Sixers. And we don't need LeBron to do it or AD to do it as well. Got join.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll have to see. But with that being said, Nate, thanks so much for joining us on the show. You're always welcome to come back. We'll continue to bring you on, whether it be talk football or hockey as next season comes in. Gavin, anything else you want to chime in on?
Nate, who you got this weekend? Eagles or Steelers, and what's the score?
I got to go Eagles, even though, I don't really know. But I'd probably go Eagles. I'd say 28-24 Eagles. That's my guess.
28-24 Birds is what I'd like to hear. Music to my ears.
All right, no doubt. Nate, thanks again for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for coming on.
All right, boys. Thanks for
Definitely here right now. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. As always, Gavin and my discussions on the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James' legacy. We'll never end.
Before we go, can we just put these last two comments up at the bottom real quick? I just want everybody to know this. Everything does revolve around LeBron. That's true. But look at this last one. But he definitely needs AD
to win the title. That's fine.
Everybody have a good day. Have a good one. I'll rest my damn case. Don't matter.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos.